I'm looking at part 1, chapter 1, condition statements. I'm not exactly going in order, but this is the very beginning part of the book, so it doesn't really matter. In this video, let's talk about if statements. So here I have my default console app, and I'm going to say that we have an int x equals 5 if x is below 0. I'm going to say cout it's below 0. Let's make this -5. Okay. This is really straightforward. We also have other condition statements. You should test every one of these out on your own time. Let me get back to the code. And let me add a few more lines here. I'm going to say else cout it's not below 0. This time, let me try +5 and then run the code. Okay, you see the result. So this is just like a human language. If we pass this condition, we run this line. Otherwise, we run this line. A lot goes on under the hood when you say if, but for this video, we're just talking about simple scripting. And the thing about else here is that it could mean two different things. It could mean that x is 0 or x is above 0. So let me add another if. I might say if x equals 0, then I'm going to say it is 0. Okay, change this to 0. Run the code. Okay, we meet both of the conditions. It's not below 0, it is 0. Another way to write this is, I might say else if x equals 0. That's when we say it is 0, which is the same thing. Okay. Now if I say else, it means we're not passing either of these conditions. It's not below 0. It's not 0. Then we're left with a positive number. So I'm going to say it's above 0. And let me change this to 10. And then run the code. Okay, it's above 0. Normally this isn't how I would write my code, because after going through a bunch of conditions, sometimes you don't really know what you're left with, but this is just a simple example. And one thing you have to be careful about, remember video number 1? Let's say we have a float, something like y equals 3.14. I'm going to say if y equals 3.14, I'm going to say y is 3.14. I'm going to put a breakpoint here, run the debugger. So here we have our y, and notice what happens as I go line by line. We see that we didn't run this line, which means we did not pass this condition. And obviously we see that we don't get the cout here. Remember that float is not an actual real number. It's an approximation of a real number. So this isn't 3.14. It's something that is very close to a 3.14. So usually in GameDev, you would be using, if you're using floats, you would be using greater than or less than. Let's go back to our axe example from video number 4. Now I'm going to add a condition to our damage. I'm going to say if axe is on fire, if this is true, I'm going to add a little more damage, something like +5 damage. Otherwise, we just do normal damage. So if we go down to our main, I'm going to create a new axe. I'll call it burning axe. I'm going to name it a burning axe. Default damage, I'll start at 1. only this time it's true that it's burning. I'm also going to call the function burning axe, hit target, and then run the code. Okay, we see that even though for the burning axe and the small axe, they both have default damage of 1, but because the burning axe has an added condition, which is +5 on burning, it now deals 6 damage. So this is really easy stuff. I mean, I'm trying to keep things as simple as possible, at least for the earlier part of this series. You shouldn't be having too much hard time following this. If you do, you can reach me on my Discord server. I have all the links below. And that's pretty much it. For your homework assignment, now that we have one more tool to create things like weapon options or various weapons, try adding a little more perks to your weapon. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.